Hello Stranger, the series. Set in the Philippines during the COVID-19 pandemic, this web series premiered on YouTube last year and centers around two college students. The top of the class nerdy Miko, played by JC Alcantara, who was forced to partner with basketball jock Xavier, played with Tony Labrusca. As they work on the project together, they begin to realize that maybe there's something more between them than simply being partners together on a group project. This series was successful enough that a new full-length movie was just released, and I'm definitely going to be watching the movie sometime after posting this review. So I'm going to try to do something a little different than my first video. I'm going to begin with a non-spoiler review, and then in the later half of the video, I'm going to do like a spoiler section. I'll place like a little icon in the upper left or right to notify you guys that I'm in the spoiler section. So yeah, let's get started. So let me start by saying if you're looking for a really complex plot, this series probably isn't for you. The story from it is very predictable and it doesn't really try to surprise the audience in any way, which is fine. I think the showrunners just wanted to focus on creating a simple story that doesn't try to revolutionize or take a lot of like storytelling risks. Instead, they just wanted to focus on a well-told story with great writing and great characters. And for the most part, I think they succeeded in that. The story starts, we're introduced to Miko. He's a stereotypical goody two-shoes, nerdy type of college student. And it seems like the only thing he cares about is his grades. And then they have like a group project and he's forced to change his partner to be with this at-risk athletic student named Xavier. And when you first meet Xavier, he comes across as a very stereotypical, like douchey kind of jock character. But as the series progresses, you learn a little bit more about Miko and why he's very like grade focused. And you also learn a lot about Xavier and his past. And it's really nice that they aren't just one-dimensional stereotypical characters. There's actually a lot more layers to them that get uncovered as the series progresses. Aside from the two main leads, you're also introduced to Miko's group of friends. And for the most part, all of them get their own kind of story arcs, except for one, which I'll talk about him later on in the spoiler section. And you're also introduced to Xavier's girlfriend. And just like the two leads, they all have their own problems, personalities. So yeah, they're all pretty well written. They're not one-dimensional. And yeah, that was very, very nice to see. In particular, there's a side story involving two of Miko's friends, Seth and Kukai. And their subplot was really, really cute, I thought. They're all so super charming, and I don't know where they found all of these people. So props to the casting director, but I didn't think there was like one weak link among all the casts. For the most part, the show is shot mostly webcam footage, but even then, the scenes are very well lit. And there were some other camera angles that broke things up, so it wasn't so monotonous. Also, there are a few scenes that are shot outside of their home. And these are where we can really see a lot of the talent of the DPs and cinematographers. They had some really cool like outdoor shots just of like the landscape and the characters just like walking, and they're really pretty. The music was also great. A lot of it was very chill, kind of like electropop. I'm not really sure what the genre is, but it was nice. And it really set the tone of the scenes really well, I thought. And it wasn't intrusive. You know how sometimes the background music could be like really distracting. This wasn't like that at all. One slight negative I'll say about the sound though is in the first episode, they do this thing where they have these sound effects that to me was, it's just not my cup of tea and it felt out of place.
Oo! Meron! Isa. Si Junjun.
Oh! Uy, bakit? Ganda kaya ng pagka-designis eh. Di ba? High five, bro! Come on, high five!
But strangely enough, these were only in the first episode, and I don't know why. It just goes away after episode 1. So yeah, if you're not a fan of those kinds of things and you think, like me, they're kind of corny, you only have to listen to them for like a few minutes in the first episode, and then after that, they go away. One thing I want to mention though is the ending of the show left me a little bit unsatisfied. And if you watch the series, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in the spoiler section. But yeah, if you're looking for a well-made, well-acted, well-written show, then I think this series checks all those boxes. Just don't expect some super complex, crazy plot with like surprises or anything like that, because you won't find that in this series. If you watch the trailer, you can pretty much predict the entire plot of the show. But despite this, I still highly recommend the show. Like I said, the writing is great. The cast of characters, they're charming. They're all good looking and very entertaining to watch. And the production values were great. So yeah, all in all, I highly recommend the show. I give it a 4 out of 5, or a brightness level of dazzling. Okay, so let's get into some spoiler talk. I'll put this icon somewhere up here. I haven't decided yet. But I'm going to put an icon up there, and that just means that we're talking about spoilers. So if you want to avoid spoilers, stop watching. I'll put a link down in the description to the first episode. It's right here on YouTube. So yeah, go and watch the series first, and then maybe come back and watch this section. Okay, so don't say I didn't warn you. Spoilers starting in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I guess let's start by talking about how cute the subplot was between Kukai and Seth. So it was so entertaining watching Kukai suffer with her crush towards Miko. And then at the same time, Seth had his crush towards Kukai. And then eventually them getting together was just super fun to watch throughout the series. And like I said, the two actors played them really well. They were so entertaining, especially I think the actress who plays Kukai, she has like these really big eyes. And she's gorgeous, right? And you can't help like just watching her and her expressions. She was super entertaining to me. And then of course there's the fifth wheel, like how he refers to himself, of the group, Junjun. He doesn't get much character development as the other two, as Kukai and Seth, which kind of sucks because he plays pretty much a pivotal role in the plot lines and character development of everyone else in the friend group. He's the one who encourages everyone to be honest with their feelings. Him calling out Miko for being insensitive is what causes the rift in their friendship circle and causes Miko to do some self-reflection on how he acts and how maybe insensitive and selfish he was being towards his friends. And then Junjun's also responsible for encouraging Miko to confess his feelings towards Xavier, and then also setting up the whole meeting at the very end with Xavier and Miko. It's just kind of sad that his purpose was just to drive the plot forward without having any background or character development or agency himself. So hopefully in the movie they give him more of an arc, because he did a lot of work in the series. So yeah, he's definitely the MVP of the show, and I hope the movie shows Junjun a little more love and things to do aside from helping everyone else. Switching to the last of the main characters, or side characters, would be Crystal, Xavier's girlfriend. And I really liked how they handled her. They could have easily just made her like the bad guy that is like the roadblock between Xavier and Miko getting together. Instead, she ends up having these really honest, mature conversations with Xavier about what she felt was lacking in the relationship, and eventually giving him the space to figure out who he really was and what he wanted. And I really liked how the writers handled that. Can I also take a few minutes to talk about the gay intern they hired to take care of all the props and costumes of the show? So I guess it wasn't really an intern, but whoever did the costumes and the props were really on point, especially the person who dressed Miko. There's a lot of hidden gems in terms of what Miko wears. So he had like this really cute rainbow necklace made out of paper clips as one thing, and also like his various shirts with words on them. So this shirt obviously was my favorite, but there was a lot of great wardrobe choices. And yeah, props to the costuming and prop department. Okay, lastly, I want to talk a little bit about the ending, and a bit of a warning. This is going to be a little bit of a rant. So yeah, you've been forewarned. But yeah, let's talk about it. The ending to me was a little unsatisfying, and it's because they didn't kiss in the end. Okay, so the plot had been building at this point, right? There's like 8 episodes. It gets to the point where they're finally realizing their true feelings for each other and are willing to be honest with each other, which they do at the end with them singing that song. And Tony Labrusco's character, Xavier, ends up like hugging Miko, which is fine, right? But I think what made it more upsetting to me was they split apart and then Xavier like wipes a tear off of Miko's face. And you think, oh, this is the perfect time. This is when they're gonna kiss. And they come back together and then they hug again. Like, I don't understand this grave decision. Because to me, like, if this was a straight couple, they would have for sure kissed, right? I mean, this is like the moment when they would have kissed. So to me, it was a little upsetting. Like, maybe question like, oh, are they just not comfortable with two men kissing? Or the actor's not comfortable? Are they trying to market this towards like straight people who may still not be comfortable towards gay relationships? It opened up like this can of worms in my head of why did they choose to not have these characters act like a normal romantic relationship? And I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this. So feel free to comment below if this scene bothered you, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just weird like this. But why did they give us what we want? Like, give the people what they want. Like, this is a boys love show. Okay, that's the end of my rant. Hopefully in the movie they kiss, because I feel like if they don't do it in the movie, then I'm gonna be even more upset. So yeah, give the people what they want. Yeah, so that's the end of the spoiler section. Like I said, I still really like the series despite all the little nitpicks I mentioned. Show the showrunner some support, because you can tell a lot of hard work went into making this show, and it really shows. So big thumbs up for me. And yeah, let me know what you all thought of this new format I'm trying out in the comment section below. Did you like that I had like a spoiler section, or would you guys prefer that I kind of split up the videos into two, like a spoiler video and a non-spoiler review? But yeah, hope you enjoyed watching it regardless. And now that I'm back home, I'm looking forward to upload things on a more regular basis. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next video.